welcome to the Current Connection podcast with your host and business manager, Mr. David Caranco.
Thank you for the introduction, John. Yes, sir. I am David Caranco. I am the host of the Current Connection podcast, where we're going to be going over some current events here within our local union and in our community, as we've discussed previously. So I appreciate that introduction, John.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and kick it off, David, with just to get it right going. What's the current situation on the current negotiations or contract negotiations? Excuse me.
Yeah, good question, John. We actually just had our special call meeting on August the 7th, which was last Thursday, which was for ratification for our new contract proposal.
Mm-hmm.
And it went good. It went very smoothly. We had a unanimous decision from the rank and file members to approve the new contract proposal, which is a very good deal. It's a pretty outstanding deal, in my opinion. So it's a 2-year deal, moving forward, from 2025 to 2027. The first pay period is September. We're going to be getting a $2 wage increase. That's going to put us at $32.80.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then the following year, in 2026, the first pay period of September, we're going to get an additional $2 wage increase. That's going to put us at $34.80. Plus, that's not all. We're going to get an additional paid holiday at 8 hours straight time pay, plus the NEBF contribution that the contractors pay for our pension. And that holiday is going to be Christmas Day. Again, this is only going to take effect in the second year, in the 2026. But after that, it's going to be in there forever, just like the other holidays that we got in our last contract, which was the 4 holidays. So in total, this is going to give us 5 holidays pay, basically of 40 hours of paid holiday time. And those days are Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, and now additionally, that's going to be added in 2026 is going to be Christmas Day. Christmas Day is going to be a paid holiday from this point forward, where our members are going to be getting, like I said, 8 hour straight time pay plus the NEBF contribution. But like I said, that right there, just those wages plus that additional holiday it puts us at approximately 13.4% wage increase over 2 years, which, like I said, which is an outstanding deal. It's a better deal than what we got in our, the last contract that we negotiated under my leadership, when we got an 11% wage increase. When we got the 4 original paid holidays, which is historical. So this is another historical contract ratification that we just went through, and I have to say this is outstanding. We're still catching up, and the fact that we were held back in that 5-year contract back in the late teens, from 2016 to what was it, 2022 or something like that.
21, 22, something like that.
Yeah, so that contract was a horrible contract, and it set us back drastically to the point where now we're still catching up. So we're not exactly where we should be, in my opinion.
But we're getting there.
We're getting there. We're getting there, and we're getting there a lot quicker than I imagined. So 13.4% wage increase over the next 2 years is a substantial wage increase. So this is a great accomplishment for IBEW Local 278 membership, working out there in the field, getting the job done for our contractors. And like I said, John, this contract was owed and deserving to our members that are going to be getting this wage increase the first pay period of September.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to shout out to the negotiating committee that participated in these negotiating meetings. These were lengthy, long negotiating meetings that we had to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
We met basically the whole month of July, at least once, sometimes twice a week. And we bargained. We bargained and we negotiated, and we were able to get the deal done here on the local level, which is outstanding. We didn't have to go to anywhere else and have anybody else make a decision on behalf of our members, on behalf of our local on behalf of our market share.
Yeah.
So we're very, very happy that we were able to come to an agreement here on a local level. And we're happy that like I said, we're able to get the members more money on the check.
Yep.
And moving forward, the members are going to be getting the $32.80 the first year and the $34.80 the second year, and then before you know it, we're going to be back at the table.
That's awesome.
Yeah. In addition to that, we also got the direct deposit. That's one thing that we didn't have previously in our contract. I got some of our contractors had already transitioned and were already paying our members by direct deposit, but it was never in the contract. So therefore, if a member ever wanted to grieve that and combat that, then there would have been a grievable offense, and then the contractor would have had to technically start cutting paper checks again. And we're modernizing, the way we do business. We've been doing that, for the last 3 years, and we're going to continue to do that. So we didn't see a big drastic change in agreeing to direct deposit. Whenever we proposed that to the members didn't think it was a big deal either. They agreed. Tool list. One thing that we also was proposed to the members was adding a 6-piece nut driver set, quarter inch to half inch sizes,
Which is a standard.
Which is it's just standard normal size nut drivers,
Yeah.
and for the most part, we all know that it's needed. It's needed on an everyday basis in our tool bag. So, we graciously agreed to that. We understand that that's a tool needed by all of our journeymen and apprentices. So, really no big deal there with the tool list. One of my favorite things that we were able to finally get done and accomplish was an additional contribution to our JATC. Now, this additional contribution is historical because it's none like any other contribution before that we've ever had to our JATC. This is going to be a dedicated contribution that's going to be for our new training facility fund. So this is going to be dedicated to our new building that we're going to be building here on our local union property, that therefore are going to turn around and do a kind of like a rent to lease type deal with our Gulf Coast apprenticeship program. And of course, there's a lot of red tape and a lot of loopholes that we have to jump through because we are a nonprofit. The JATC is a nonprofit. We have a thing that is called the prohibited transactions that we have to stay, abide by with the DOL guidelines and regulations. And we're going to do that. We've done our homework. We've consulted with attorneys, with real estate agents, and we really have done basically what is needed to be done on our end to get this done. And I believe that was a big factor with our partners, our contractors, when we were negotiating this new contract. They're thrilled about it. We're thrilled. We're all thrilled about it. That we're going to finally get this done, and it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be a game changer for not only for our local apprenticeship, but for our local union and for the way we train our future apprentices. It's going to change the way we attract new applicants.
Yep.
It's going to change the way we train new apprentices, and it's going to be able to help us reach out more with our community when it comes to outreach. So we're excited. The contractors are excited. Our NICA chapter is excited, and we're going to get that done. We average over 500,000 man hours per year. So if you do the math pretty quickly, a quarter per man hour, it will, in about 10 years, we should have enough money to pay the local back for what we have invested for building that new facility that we're going to be building here in the very near future. So yeah, we're very excited. We're thrilled, and we can't wait to get this ground broken so that we can build our new training facility here very soon. So yeah, that was my favorite part of our negotiations, that we were able to seal the deal and get that done for the future of our training and our apprenticeship program, because that is the main bloodline of our organization is our apprenticeship program. Yeah, we organize when we need, and that's vital. It's very vital. But at the same time, breeding and upbringing our own apprentices from the applicant status, from when they literally are agreeing to training them and molding them and directing them and guiding them to becoming well-rounded journeyman union electricians. And that's what the IBEW NICA apprenticeship is for. That's what it was designed to do. And that's what it's going to continue to do, which, like I said, which is going to be modernizing and upgrading the way we train our apprentices, especially with that new training facility. So, yeah, we're excited about that, John. I know a lot of members, and when we talked about it at the meeting, when we ratified it, we're thrilled and ecstatic because we're finally going to get it done. You know, it was something that we have been discussing, that we have been talking about, but we needed the contractors to buy in on it. You know, it's something that we wanted, the members wanted, and we know we needed. But at the same time, we got to work with our partners, with our NICA chapter, and we got to make sure that they're on board, and which they are. And I think moving forward, the relationship that we're going to have with, you know, that being said, is going to be a lot more copacetic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, like I said, we're thrilled, we're excited, and yeah, we're gonna get it done finally.
Just real quick, I know we said it on the meeting. The square footage on this thing is how big?
It's 16,000 square feet. 16,000 square feet. That's a good question, John. I'm glad you brought that up.
And the amount of classrooms, you know, you said 16,000 square feet. Now, with that, I want to say when we saw it up on the screen, it was like 6 or 7 classrooms.
Yes. We tailored and we designed this building to what we need, to our needs. You know, we all know that when we get our first and our second year classes, that we need those classrooms to be larger than the third and fourth year classes because of our retention rate. Not only that, we also have our pre-apprenticeship program as well, that we also recruit and attract new applicants to come in through that way. So yeah, we're going to have multiple classrooms, even though we are going from a 5-year program to a 4-year program. We're still going to need the extra space for on the hands-on training and for different labs that we're going to be doing to making sure the performance of our apprentices is upgrading by year of, you know, of their periods.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this building, like I said, we got it designed and tailored for our needs because we know what we needed moving forward. You know, with our statistics here with our Gulf Coast apprenticeship program.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I know.
I just remember where I was at back in 03, 04 when I started, and where it's going to become in 26, as opposed to 03, 04 when I started. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it.
I know, and we're going to get it done. To see it. We're going to get it done.
Well, that's. I want to jump on to the next one if we can, David.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing that we had just recently, but I want to say it was the day before the special call meeting. We had the Texas AFL-CIO meeting that was held on August the 6th. Can you touch a little bit on that one?
Yeah, good question, John. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, on Wednesday, August the 6th, we did have a special meeting here at our local union. It was the Texas AFL-CIO President Rick Levy himself and Secretary Treasurer Leonard Aguilar. They were here in person, live in action, and we had a meeting here. And this meeting was for all rank and file members from all different labor unions, not just IBEW, but we're talking about AFT, AFGE, the Machinists Union, IAM, the Painters Union, the CWA, Communication Work. I mean, all the unions were here and all participated. We had over 50 rank and file members from all these different unions attend this meeting. And it was at Labor Town Hall when we were discussing different issues that we have in our different unions and how the Texas AFL-CIO can come in and assist us with those different issues that we have. Because us being different unions, whether we're building trades unions, whether we're education union, whether we're a federal union, we all have our own different issues. And that's what the Labor Council is for, is we all come together as one force, as one unit, and we fight for each other's issues. And those are all labor issues that are all intertwined, that affect us all, whether we know it or not. You know, all these issues that we attack and that we face, whether it has to do with city policy, whether it has to do with state legislature, whether it has to do with federal legislature, it all intertwined and it all affects the working class people, whether they're unions or not union. That's what the Labor Council does. They fight on behalf of the working class citizens of their community. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're union or non-union, because we all know that the unions raise the standards for everybody, whether you're a member or not. And that's what the Labor Council does. And we were very thrilled and happy that our president, Rick Levy of the Texas AFL-CIO, was able to come and attend this in person.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and especially the Secretary Treasurer as well, Leonard Aguilar. We really appreciate both of them coming and making the time to visit Corpus Christi and to find out what our issues and what we want them to be focusing on in Austin, where they're there representing us. Because it's their job to go and lobby the politicians that are over there making laws, and a lot of those laws affect us, and whether it be prevailing wages, whether it be working conditions on the job, whether it be requiring workman's comp for contractors that are working in our jurisdiction, different issues that are related to us and our industry of the profession that we come from. That's what we do, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And we really appreciate the leadership of Rick Levy and Leonard Aguilar and being able to come down here and hold that meeting. So, yeah, I'm glad you were able to make that meeting as well, John, and experience that.
Yeah, it was cool to see all the rank and file members that were speaking up and saying how they feel and what's going on, and then just for me to participate as well. It was awesome. It was a good thing to see. It's a good thing to see all these labor unions together, united. Really good feeling. Really good feeling.
Definitely,
really good feeling. I think we can move it on from this one. What do you think, Dave? Do you have anything you want to say on that one?
Yeah, just real quick, we're still talking about the Texas AFL-CIO. I wanted to give a shout out to one of our very own rank and file members, Timothy Thompson. He just graduated from the Ruth Ellinger Leadership Academy, and that was held by the Texas AFL-CIO was the one who hosted that training. And it's a year-long training where, Timothy had to go 4 different times out throughout the last year on a weekend. He leaves on a Friday and he comes back on a Sunday, and they do different things. They train them and educate them on unionism, on collective bargaining, on negotiating, and on the history of unionism and where we came from, and most of our founding fathers from our different unions and how we were created. And it's very mind-opening and eye-opening, if you know what I mean, for any rank and file member to take this training. So we encourage anybody that's a member of IBEW Local 278 or the Labor Council or any local union that's watching this, that if you're affiliated with the Labor Council, if you're interested in taking and attending the Ruth Ellinger Leadership Academy, just reach out. Reach out to your president, your business manager, anybody on your executive e-board, somebody in any leadership capacity with your local union. Reach out to them and let them know that you're interested in the Ruth Ellinger Leadership Academy. It is outstanding and very, like I said, mind-opening, eye-opening leadership training. And I went through it myself. I graduated the year before Timothy. I was in the fellowship before Timothy, and that's why I sponsored Timothy. And I recommend, like I said, anybody who's interested that would be wanting to attend that, just to reach out.
Very, very cool. Congrats, Tim. Awesome.
Yeah, congrats, Tim.
So let's touch up a little bit on this South Texas building construction trades update. Can you give us a little bit on that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this past June, we had a convention. We had a Texas State Building Construction Trades Convention. At this convention is where we elected new officers to lead the organization moving forward. For the last, I want to say 18 months, it was a gentleman by the name of Rick Lord that was serving in the capacity of executive director. He was up for re-election. There was nominations. Rick Lord, of course, being the incumbent. Also, we had another candidate by the name of Ryan Pollock. Ryan Pollock comes out of the Austin area. He comes out of IBEW Local 520. He was a political director there previously. and he was nominated and duly elected to the executive directorship of the Texas Building and Construction Trades Council. So, we want to throw a shout out to Ryan. Congratulations. We're really happy. We're really ecstatic and excited what direction you're going to be taking Texas State Building Trades under your leadership. And we know it's going to be great, and it's going to be some great things that are coming in the near future. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck, and congratulations again.
Yeah, congratulations, Ryan. That's awesome. Just nothing. That's all Texas, right? South Texas, everything we got going on right now is Texas.
Yeah, and right now, with the things that are going on, especially with our state and our federal government, it's very vital that we get more engaged than we ever have with the political arena on the local level, on the state level, and on the federal level.
Of course.
And take it from me. I'm currently your business manager, financial secretary, and I always took politics somewhat serious. I mean, I voted in elections, and I paid attention as much as I could. But knowing and being in this position and seeing how much it really does affect all of us by not being involved, by not being educated on the current situation, on the current events, on what's really going on in the federal, in the state, in the local government, because it really does affect us, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you vote or not, it affects us all. And we want to encourage all of our members to register to vote. If you have questions, ask. If you're not sure about something, ask. We're always going to direct our members what's in the best of the organization. We're a bipartisan organization. We're not red, we're not blue, meaning we're not Democrat, we're not Republican. We support politicians who support labor, period. And that's just the bottom line. It just so happens that most of the politicians that support labor have a track record of being in the Democratic Party, but that does not mean for 1 second that the IBEW is a Democratic organization. We are a bipartisan organization, defining us as we don't pick sides. We support people who support us. Right. And it's very important that our members understand that, because why would we endorse and back somebody who's not going to do nothing for us? It doesn't make any sense. We don't vote against and we don't support against our own best interests. We never have, and we never will, and we would never advise our members to vote against their own best interests and their dependents, their family's best interests. We're always going to we're always going to direct you the right direction, especially when it comes to the pocketbook issues. And that's what we fight for every day on behalf of our membership.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that was a very good question, John, and I'm glad you brought that up, because when we get new leaders in positions, it's very important that we follow the leadership of our leaders, and we got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, of course.
And moving forward, I want to see more participation with our own members in the local, with the political stuff.
Yep.
And it's hard, I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Believe you me, I understand that more than anyone. But we got to do something. Something's got to give. We got to mobilize, and we got to get our members out there and get out the vote. So that's what we're going to be focusing a lot on in this term. It's getting more of our rank and file members more engaged, registered to vote, and getting out there to vote. So
yeah. So on another issue here, or not so much issue, but I guess what's going on with like our Southwestern Health and Benefit Fund audit?
Yes, another good mention there, John. So with our benefit plan, with the Southwestern Benefit and Health Plan, they're currently doing a dependent audit. So what that means is they need all of our members, every single member that is dependent. If you're not a single member, meaning that it's just you're not married, you don't have any dependents, you don't have any kids, you don't have a spouse, then you don't have to worry about it. It does not apply to you. But if you are a rank and file member, this does apply to you, and you do need to respond, because if you don't, what they're going to do is, since you didn't respond, they're going to take that as if you don't have any dependents anymore, because some dependents age out they become, they get older than a certain age, or they get married, and then they get their own insurance packages, and that's what they're gonna assume happened if our members don't respond. So there is a deadline date on there. I encourage all of our members to respond as quickly as possible, and just let them know. Yes, these are the same dependents that are on my plan. We're still in. I still want them on my dependent list, and that's all you got to do. Just give them the name, the birthday, and I believe the social security number, which you should have access to all of that information if these are your spouses or your children, and submit it. You can submit it by email or by fax, or you can even just call the hall, or you can call the hall and have one of the secretaries send it in for you. But we do need to respond by the deadline, because if not, they are going to basically clean everybody's dependent list completely. Meaning, the next time, if you were on the list that you were supposed to respond, and you go to a doctor or an appointment, and that dependent was on there, well, then they're not going to have the coverage that they need if you didn't respond by the deadline.
And do we have that deadline date?
It was sent out, and we can definitely put it on.
Okay, just as long as I know, I'm sure I got it as well. Minutes.
All right, let me just close. And I do want to say something. Like I was talking about the whole political engagement thing. What's really going on right now with our state legislature, with this special session that was called? I mean, what it is a power grab, guys. What they're doing is they're rigging the system even more than it's already been rigged by gerrymandering the map of Texas. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We don't pick sides, but when it's so obvious of what's going on and why it's going on, that is very concerning to us, because why would we want to live in a state, in a country where it's rigged, where the system is rigged and it's not in our favor? And that's what's going on. Every 10 years after the census is done, that is when the redistricting occurs. Okay, well, it's only been 5 years. And now our state lawmakers, because they were ordered by the president and the White House right now to come up with 5 additional seats. And they're catering to that. They're doing it. And it's wrong. It's wrong. It's cheating. It's rigging the system. It's an attempt of a power grab. So with this Texas law, and with the Texas lawmakers and state reps that broke quorum and left the state, we support them. We support them 100%, and we stand with them 100%, because we understand why they're doing it. They're not doing it to obstruct anything. They're doing it to stand up for their constituents that elected them in that position in the first place. And like I said, we support them, we stand with them, and we understand why they're doing it. So I just wanted to mention that in closing. I really want to get, like I said, more of our members more educated, more involved, and knowing how all of these things truly, really do affect them and their families. But yeah, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate everybody making the time to check out our podcast. And until next time, tune in to The Current Connection, guys. We really appreciate it. Have a good day.